Luna, a recent graduate with a degree in accounting from a prestigious university, quickly found a job at a large company with an attractive salary. She felt proud of herself for being able to contribute to the company right from her first days. However, Luna's success and sharpness were not well received by her colleagues. Her achievements made some people envious and fearful that she might take their positions. One morning, while Luna was working in the accounting department, she suddenly received a call from the director. "Hello, Luna. I need to meet with you right now. Please come to the director's office." Luna felt a bit anxious, but couldn't predict what awaited her. She quickly walked to the director's office. Her manager was sitting there with a serious expression, as if something significant was going on. "Una," the director began, "we have reason to believe that you are not honest with the company. We suspect you are a spy, placed by a competitor to gather information." Luna froze, unable to believe what she had just heard. She shook her head and said, her voice trembling, "Boss, what are you talking about? I'm just an ordinary employee, working hard to contribute to the company. How could I be a spy?" The director sighed and looked at her with a suspicious gaze. "There is too much irrefutable evidence. You've had strange phone calls, emails with unknown origins, and even documents you've taken outside the company without permission. You must understand that this is unacceptable." Luna felt the world spinning around her. She had worked so hard, trying her best to prove her abilities, but now all of those efforts were shattered because of a serious misunderstanding. "No, I am not a spy. All of this is false," she shouted, tears rolling down her cheeks. The director did not change his expression. He simply shook his head and continued. "This is the final decision. You are fired immediately. We cannot allow someone who could harm the company to stay here any longer." Luna stood frozen, feeling as though the ground beneath her feet had disappeared. She couldn't understand what was happening. Why had all her efforts been misunderstood like this? And why was she being falsely accused? After being called into the director's office, Luna had tried repeatedly to contact her manager. She made phone calls and sent messages pleading for help, but her manager ignored her. She still remembered that phone call, when she begged over the phone, "Please, I really need help. Someone might be trying to harm me. I don't know what to do." However, her manager coldly replied, "Luna, I don't have time for this," before quickly hanging up. Now, standing on the brink of unemployment, Luna felt like all hope had vanished. She couldn't understand why her efforts and dedication had been misunderstood in this way. But what hurt her the most was her manager's indifference. The one person she had trusted and whom she had begged for help. "No, this can't be happening," Luna cried out, her voice choked with emotion. "I didn't do it. I never betrayed the company." Standing on the edge of unemployment, Luna felt as though all hope had faded. She looked around the office, the place where she had dedicated so many months. Everything seemed a blur. Luna had no evidence to prove her innocence. Every attempt to resist was futile. She had tried to explain, but no one believed her, and in the end, she couldn't fight the director's decision. Looking at her desk one last time, Luna knew that today would be the day she had to leave. She sighed, feeling overwhelming disappointment. Luna felt like someone abandoned in the middle of the sea, with no one around to help. She lost her father when she was very young. Memories of him always appeared in her dreams, of the strong man she never had the chance to fully understand. But her mother had raised her alone, teaching her valuable lessons about resilience and the will to live. But now, that woman was no longer the same. Her mother had endured so much pain, working tirelessly over the years to support the family until an accident left her bedridden. Her mother could no longer do anything, unable to help Luna, only lying there, helplessly watching her daughter struggle with the challenges of life. Luna no longer had any support. Losing her job meant no income, and she didn't know how to afford rent or her mother's medical bills. Every time she saw her mother in pain, every time she saw her mother lying quietly and looking at her with sad eyes, her heart ached. She felt like a fragile boat, drifting in the vast ocean with no anchor, no way out. All her efforts had been in vain. She didn't know what to do next. How could she keep going when she had nothing left? In the destruction, the empire was created. After 10 years of peace within the Covenant, the Emperor finally freed Luna from the ambition she felt was her due. Luna felt like Corda finally took her off the radar for everything her mother had sacrificed. She would not give up, because she was not only fighting for herself, but also for her mother, for everything her mother had sacrificed. She would not let life defeat her. She would not let herself fall. With heavy steps, Luna made her way home. She sat by her mother's bed, holding her hand tightly, tears streaming down her tired face. As she whispered, "Mom, I don't know what to do anymore. I lost my job. I don't have money to pay the rent or your medical bills. I feel so useless." She choked on her words. "I promised I would take care of you, but now I can't do anything. I don't know how to keep going." Her mother could not speak, but the worried look in her eyes seemed to understand all the pain in Luna's heart. Luna bowed her head, pressing her forehead against her mother's hand, whispering, "Mom, I won't give up. I promise." Even though her mother couldn't speak, the silent tears on her face seemed like a quiet encouragement, giving Luna an invisible strength to stand up again. After many days of searching, Luna felt hopeless as no one would hire her. Every time she picked up the phone, her heart tightened with disappointment. Finally, with no other options, she accepted a job at a nearby fried chicken shop. The pay was low and the work was hard, but at least she could earn money to cover living expenses and take care of her mother. Luna reluctantly walked into the store, knowing that she deserved a better job, but at that moment, all she wanted was to do something to ease the burden on her mother. Every day, she worked tirelessly, from morning until night, her fingers aching from the constant contact with oil and the sizzling sounds of frying. But the thoughts of her mother and the rent money kept her from stopping. One day, while Luna was standing at the cashier, her eyes suddenly fell on a little girl, around 7 or 8 years old, dressed in filthy clothes. The girl was holding a small coin in her hand, her face gaunt and her eyes filled with hunger. She walked closer, looking up at Luna with eyes full of hope. "Excuse me," the girl said in a faint voice. "Can I buy something with this coin?" Luna looked at the girl, her eyes welling up as she saw the hardship in the child's gaze. She bent down and gently asked, "Are you hungry?" The girl nodded, clutching the coin in her hand as though it was all she had. Luna paused for a moment, then looked around the counter. Although it wasn't allowed to give away food for free, looking into the girl's pleading eyes, Luna couldn't hold back her compassion. She took an order of fried chicken and turned to the girl, saying, "I'll buy you some fried chicken. Go ahead and eat, don't worry." The girl's eyes lit up, but she hesitated as if she couldn't believe it. Really? She asked, her voice trembling. Luna smiled gently. Hey, really? Go ahead and eat. You deserve something good. The girl choked up, her eyes beginning to shine, and she took the fried chicken from Luna. Thank you so much, she said, then hurried off, not forgetting to wave goodbye to Luna. Luna stood there, her heart tightening. She watched the girl leave, unable to speak, just feeling the warmth of this small act of kindness amidst all the pain and struggles she was facing. As soon as the girl left, Luna didn't have a chance to finish her task before the manager appeared. His eyes were full of anger as he approached her. "Luna, come to my office, now." His voice was sharp and angry. Luna didn't understand what was happening, but she followed her manager into the office. She stood still, meeting his furious gaze. The manager began speaking with a tone full of contempt. "Do you even know what you're doing? We don't allow employees to give out free food, especially to poor, hungry kids. Do you understand that?" Luna lowered her head but stood firm. She knew she had done the right thing and didn't feel regret. She replied in a calm but resolute tone. "It's what I thought was right to do, sir. That little girl was starving. I just wanted to help her. I don't think I did anything wrong." The manager sighed, his eyes flashing with annoyance. "Why didn't you think about the company's rules? Do you even realize you're destroying everything? How is this company supposed to function if employees like you keep acting so thoughtlessly?" Luna swallowed, her eyes filled with tears, but she kept speaking, trying to stay composed. "Sir, I understand. I truly regret my actions. I will pay back the money for that little girl if you give me a chance." But the manager wasn't having it. He snapped, "Don't bother saying anything else, Luna. You're fired immediately. Don't try to use kindness as an excuse for your reckless actions. The girl might get free food, but this company doesn't work like that." Luna felt a lump form in her throat, but she forced herself to remain calm, looking the manager in the eye and speaking with all the sincerity in her voice. "Sir, I understand, but I also hope you can understand that sometimes kindness is not a crime. I just wanted to help someone who needed it." The manager coldly turned away, not even looking at her again. "Your kindness has cost you your job. Good luck." Luna sat motionless in the office, her eyes filled with tears, feeling like the entire world was collapsing around her. Everything had become too much to bear. Once again, she lost her job for reasons that made no sense. She didn't understand how this could happen. She had only tried to do the right thing, simply help a hungry little girl, but now it was costing her dearly. Luna hung her head, tears rolling down her cheeks. She was overcome with frustration, and the sobs broke free from her chest. "Why? Why is this happening?" she asked herself. "I just wanted to help. Was that wrong?" She recalled every moment when she decided to buy fried chicken for the little girl. She had done it out of compassion, feeling heartbroken at the sight of the child hungry and desperate. But now, that act of kindness had led to her facing the pain of losing her job and the feeling of being abandoned. This time, it wasn't just her job she lost, but her confidence and her hope for a fair world. Everything seemed to be happening too quickly, as if all the bad things were coming at once. Luna felt suffocated, not knowing what to do next. She had nothing left. She couldn't pay the rent, couldn't take care of her mother, and now she had no job. Everything seemed to crumble in front of her eyes, and all she could do was cry, sobbing in her despair. Sometimes, being a good person comes with a price, doesn't it? She muttered to herself, overwhelmed by pain. She felt lost in a world full of indifference and cruelty. That day, Luna returned home completely drunk, stumbling as she walked, her legs feeling like they were no longer hers. She didn't remember how she got home, only that her head was spinning, exhausted, and unable to think clearly. All she knew was that she had drunk too much to forget all the pain tearing her apart inside. As she walked through the door, the dim light of the room made her feel dizzy. Her eyes were swollen from crying all afternoon, the tears flowing endlessly. Every step felt like a challenge, her body heavy with overwhelming fatigue. Just yesterday she had a job, she had hope, and now it had all fallen apart because of one small decision. She couldn't understand. I couldn't explain why everything had turned so bad. When she looked down at her hands, the bruises and scratches were clearly visible. She couldn't remember how she had been hurt, only that these wounds were like the pain inside her, the cuts no one could see. Each wound seemed like a reminder of failure, of the pain she couldn't escape. She slumped down next to her mother's hospital bed, her hands trembling, but there were no more tears left to cry. She could only sit silently, feeling like a lost ship in the vast ocean with no way out. She had tried, but it was all in vain. 2 hours later, as Luna sat in a daze, consumed by her pain, a man entered. He was in his early 30s, tall, with a serious yet kind expression on his face. He introduced himself as Felix, the uncle of the little girl Luna had helped in the fried chicken shop. "Hello, I'm Felix, the uncle of the little girl you bought fried chicken for this afternoon," he said, his voice warm but tinged with tension. Luna looked up, her eyes blurred from the alcohol and exhaustion. She tried to focus on the man standing before her. "Her uncle?" Luna asked softly. Felix nodded and sat down near her. "That's right. I just found the girl at the park. She's been running away from home for a few days. When I asked her, she told me that a worker at the fried chicken shop had given her food. She bought her fried chicken and helped her when she had nothing left." Luna remained silent, saying nothing. She recalled the girl, remembering the hungry eyes filled with hope as she handed her the fried chicken. Luna's heart twisted with emotion. Felix continued, his eyes showing a hint of sorrow. "When I found out that you were the one who helped her, I went to find that fried chicken shop. But when I got there, I heard you had been fired for your actions. I couldn't believe it." Luna sighed, unsure of what to say. She felt like a complete failure, unable to do anything except sit there and endure the bad decisions life had brought her. Felix looked at her, a slight concern in his eyes. "I understand that you might be feeling hurt and disappointed, but you don't know. Your action helped that girl go back home, and I'm very grateful for that." Luna looked at Felix, then down at her hands, where the bruises and scratches were still clearly visible. "I didn't think my actions meant that much. I just did what I thought was right." Felix was silent for a moment, then continued. "I know, but sometimes the right things aren't rewarded the way we expect. But you can't give up like this. You helped a little life, and that's what matters most. Now I just want to thank you for doing that." Luna didn't know what to say. She could feel the sincerity in Felix's words, but her heart was still weighed down with sorrow. She stood up, feeling like some kind of strength was creeping into her heart. She gave a weak smile and said, "Thank you for coming here." Felix looked at her and, after a moment, took a business card from his pocket and handed it to her. "I work at a large company. If you want, I can help you find another job." "Let me help you, Luna." Luna looked at the business card, then at Felix, her gaze showing a hint of surprise. "Thank you, but I don't know." Felix gently patted her shoulder and smiled. "You helped my niece. Now I want to help you. Don't refuse." Luna felt a warm wave pass through her heart, as if someone was reaching out to pull her out of the pit of her pain. "I'll think about it," she said, her voice a little softer. Felix stood up, nodded to her, and said, "Remember that sometimes a small action can change a whole life. Good luck." Luna stood there, still holding the business card, feeling as if something within her had shifted. Maybe, after all, she still had a chance to start over. The next day, Luna decided to try again. She had received Felix's business card, and after a night of thinking, she decided to go to his company. Although she still felt anxious and doubtful about the future, she couldn't let this opportunity slip away. Early in the morning, Luna put on the simplest outfit from her wardrobe, trying to keep her spirit strong. She looked at herself in the mirror. Her eyes still showed signs of tiredness, but there was an unusual determination in her gaze. She took a deep breath, then left her cramped room and stepped outside. With Felix's business card in hand, Luna made her way to the address he had provided. His company was located in a modern skyscraper in the heart of the city. Standing in front of the company's entrance, Luna felt as though she were standing at the threshold of a new door, an opportunity unlike the failures she had experienced before. Upon entering the lobby, she felt overwhelmed by the luxurious space of the building. The neatly arranged desks, the sparkling lights, and the professional atmosphere all created an air of hope. Luna approached the reception desk and handed over Felix's business card to the receptionist. "Hello, I have an appointment with Mr. Felix," Luna said, her voice trembling slightly, but she tried to stay composed. The receptionist looked at the business card and smiled. "Hello, please wait for a moment. I'll notify Mr. Felix." Luna stood still, her heart pounding. She didn't know what would happen next, but at that moment, all she could do was wait. After a while, Felix appeared. He smiled when he saw her, and the sincerity in his eyes made Luna feel much more at ease. "Hello, Luna. Thank you for coming," Felix said, extending his hand to shake hers. "Please, follow me." They walked through long corridors and entered a modern office, fully equipped. Felix pointed to a chair and invited her to sit. "I've reviewed your resume, Luna. I know you are going through a tough time, and I want to help. We have a position open in the accounting department, which I think you would be perfect for." Luna looked at Felix, deeply moved. She hadn't expected that a small act of hers would lead to this opportunity. Though doubt still lingered in her mind, Luna felt something shift within her, a sense of hope. "Thank you so much, Felix," she said, her voice filled with gratitude. I don't know what else to say except thank you. I'll do my best." Felix nodded. "Don't worry. I believe you will do well. But don't forget, sometimes life can be cruel, but good people will always appear to help one another." Luna smiled gently, feeling her heart warm. "I understand. I won't let difficulties stop me." And so, after all the hardships and failures, Luna had a new opportunity. She knew that she couldn't let her kindness become a burden, but instead, she had to use it to open doors, to help not only others, but also herself. Just 1 year later, Luna had completely transformed. The company where she worked was not just a place that helped her support herself and her mother, but also a place that witnessed her remarkable growth. With perseverance, relentless effort, and solid knowledge in accounting, Luna quickly demonstrated her capabilities. She not only possessed sharp thinking, but also knew how to calmly and effectively face and solve work problems. Her development came not only from what she did, but also from the favor Felix had shown her. Felix, who had helped her during her difficult early days, now regarded Luna as an outstanding and promising employee. As a result, Luna was promoted to a managerial position in the accounting department. Now her life had become much more stable. She no longer had to worry about paying for rent or medical expenses for her mother. Luna felt a sense of relief fill her heart as, finally, she was able to buy a small, cozy house for the two of them. Her mother, although still in need of special care due to her frail health, at least no longer had to live in cramped, anxiety-ridden rental rooms. Stepping into the new house, Luna felt as if a new chapter of her life had begun. The difficult days and failures had taught her valuable lessons about perseverance and kindness. In the end, luck had finally smiled upon her. Luna also never forgot Ava, the little girl she had helped when she had only a small coin in her hand. After Luna stabilized her job, she and Ava regularly met and chatted, forming a beautiful friendship. Little Ava had now grown up, becoming a dynamic, hopeful young woman. Luna had helped Ava not only with free meals, but also with the love and care she gave the girl. Both Felix and Luna had now become closer friends. Felix was not just a colleague, but also a friend whom Luna trusted and cherished. They shared joys and work stories, and sometimes even talked about their dreams in life. For Luna, life no longer felt like a series of dark, endless days. Everything seemed to have changed, from her job to her personal life. From small acts of kindness like sharing a meal to the bigger opportunities that had come her way. She knew that luck doesn't always smile, but once you seize the opportunity and live with kindness, good things will find their way to you.